Hey everyone, for my 100th video I'm going to talk about my proudest moment from my time in the CIT Students Union. While my opinion of the student movement in Ireland has changed in the year since I have left, I do have some moments that I'm proud of. And my proudest moment was when I spoke on men's mental health at USI Congress in May 2019. Now, when I started in the CIT Students Union, I wasn't very good about clearly expressing my opinions. Truth is, it nearly got me impeached. My time in the CIT Students Union taught me a lot, especially how to speak my opinions clearly. The moment I realised how much I had learned was when I spoke at USI Congress that took place in the Briefy House Resort in Castlebar, County Mayo. It was the Tuesday morning of it, and I spoke on the motion of men's mental health, which is something I am particularly passionate about. Here is that motion. Men's mental health, proposed by the Vice President for the Border, Midlands and Western region. Congress notes the importance of empowering men to speak about their mental well-being and to seek help if they face a crisis. Congress notes with regret the lack of work in the area of men's mental health within USI. To be honest though, there's a lack of work in the area of men's mental health everywhere. Congress notes with concern, in 2017, Ireland registered almost 400 suicides, with 8 out of 10 fatalities accounting for males. Congress recognises how the male population of students are vulnerable to the mental health crisis and the stigma attached to seeking help. Congress mandates the Vice President for Welfare to form a year-round campaign specific to empowering men to speak about their mental health. Congress further mandates the Vice President for Welfare and the Vice President for Equality and Citizenship to coordinate an action to mark International Men's Day specific to men's health. Now, I was the first welfare officer in a students' union in Ireland to run a physical campaign on International Men's Day. We had several groups there. We had Men's Voices Ireland, which are a men's advocacy group on issues that affect men in Ireland. We had Males Ireland, which are a group that goes into the spirituality of masculinity, which is something I think is kind of important. I did find them quite fascinating, I'm not going to lie. We also had the Marie Keating Foundation, which talked about men's health and specifically men's cancers, which is actually quite a serious problem but doesn't get anywhere near the awareness that women's cancer does. Now, to be honest, before the speech I was really nervous about it for several reasons, but some of the big ones was, well, first off, the fact that it was my maiden speech, so that was a bit unnerving. The other one was, and this was the big one for me, I give some of my personal story in the speech, and that's a story I don't share too often, and I don't share it lightly. And very few people knew the story. Very few people still actually know the story now, I'm not gonna lie. And to be honest, I was going back and forth. about whether to include it in the speech. I decided in the end to put it in and hope that it would land with those in attendance. Here's the speech. Congress delegates, I am here to encourage you to vote in favour of the motion put before you today. 80% of suicides are male. 80%. Why is that? Why are men killing themselves at such a rate? In today's society, men are frequently implicated as the primary instigators of their own suffering, due to their alleged unwillingness to engage with mental health services. This, you may be surprised to learn, is untrue. James Behan of Men's Voices Ireland, who has done extensive research into this area of men's mental health, has found that many men do seek help from their doctors. But doctors do not provide the help that would effectively help them. The usual course of action that doctors take is to prescribe antidepressants like selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Antidepressants doesn't get to the root cause of the problem. So there is no surprise that the problem doesn't get fixed. It's not that men don't talk. It's that no one listens when they do. The issue is that men are not being given the help that they so desperately need. I know. And this is a story that I don't share too often. I have thought about suicide myself. I wanted to drown in the River Lee, be carried out to sea, and never be found. Who would miss a nobody like me? That is what I thought. That is what I believed. And I did talk about my problems. I talked and talked to anyone who I thought would listen. But no one ever actually listened. It was when someone did listen and helped me to understand my problems that I finally began to heal. If we are to help men heal, we need to give them the help that they need, not just drugging them in the hope that solves the problem, because it won't. And this motion, if passed, would be a great start towards achieving that goal. I encourage all of you to vote in favour of this motion to help men get the support that they need. Together we can help men heal. Thank you. When I finished the speech, I got a standing ovation. That's when I knew that I was right to put my story into the speech. At the Congress Awards, which took place on the Wednesday night, I received the Best Maiden Speaker Award. I actually have the photo right here of it. I will admit, it caught me completely off guard. I was not expecting it to win an award. I am very, very proud of that award, and the reason being is that it reminds me of how much I have learned in that year, especially how much I learned in speaking my mind clearly. The mistake that many make, including those in USI, is that they assume that men have always had a problem with expressing themselves emotionally. The truth is, men have actually stopped talking about their emotions. And the main reason for that is because of the poor response that they've gotten in recent years. That poor response is due to several reasons, but one of the main ones is that the mental health system has become much more suited toward female psychology. And it's using that as a kind of a one-size-fits-all basis. Obviously, because men and women are different, this results in the ineffective treatment for men. But also, interestingly enough, it has resulted in the ineffective treatment for women as well. Because women are different from each other. And that's an interesting thing to see. Everyone's mind is different. And each person that needs help with their mental health needs to have the treatment adapted to their specific mental conditions. Unless mental health services learn to adapt to those that they want to help again, the problem will only get worse. Much, much worse. I want to leave you with one of my favourite quotes. A quote from Helen Keller, in which she said, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming it." Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.